Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3000 Songs of the Rock Era. Today I'm up to song number 2391, and that one is Running Bear by Johnny Preston. This went to number one in 1960. Here's a picture of the single, and here's a picture of Johnny Preston around the time he recorded it. And I got a special feature for you guys today, so stick around till the end. Yeah, I decided to do this one to karaoke. It's a pretty catchy song, so I figured why not. Anyway, this was not released on an album, just on a single. And first, I'm going to talk about the song a little bit. It's one of many teen tragedy songs. It's about a young Native American couple who were in different tribes, and their tribes were fighting each other, kind of like Romeo and Juliet, but set in, I guess, among Native American tribes. So, there's a male in one tribe named Running Bear, and then a female in rival tribe named Little White Dove, and they fall in love. But, the tribes won't let them be together, but they're determined to be together, so they cross each other, the river, and both drown together. That's how the song ends. Pretty tragic, but, pretty great song, I think. Anyway, you'll hear it in a few minutes. It was written by none other than J.P. Richardson, who was also known as the Big Bopper. Here's a picture of him. And you guys may know he had one big hit that was called Chantilly Lace, I believe in 1958. But unfortunately, he was on the tragic plane crash that killed him and Buddy Holly and Richie Valens on February 3rd, 1959, which is now commonly called the day the music died because it was a big tragedy in the history of rock and roll. So I guess it's a little ironic that Big Bopper wrote a teen tragedy song just before he died. And he did write it in 1959. And I guess it became a posthumous hit for him by Billy Preston. Um, yeah, and is there anything? Oh, yeah, and one other interesting piece of trivia. Like I said, there were a lot of tragedy songs in the early 60s. There was, a matter of fact, there were three consecutive number one songs about tragedy where somebody dies at the end of the song or in the song. The first, and these were the first three songs of the 60s, the first three number one songs of 1960, which I think is also interesting. The first of them was El Paso by Marty Robbins. That's not really a teen tragedy. He's the subject. He's the guy who dies in that one. That one's coming up pretty soon on my list, by the way. That's set in the old West. I guess he falls in love with a Mexican woman in that one, but naturally, then the Mexican woman's taken, and so, the only way he can fall in love with her is to risk his own life, and, against a big gang of Mexicans who are out to get him. And finally, they do kill him at the end of the song. And then the second one is this one, Running Bear. That was the second tragedy song of 1960. This was, I think, a teen tragedy since it involves a young Native American couple. And the third is Teen Angel. And that one, I guess, is set in the 50s when it was written in modern times as it was. And that's just about a teenage girl who runs back for her high school ring in a car, but the car was stalled on the railroad track and a train runs her over. While she's getting her high school ring. Shows how devoted she was. She dies for her boyfriend's love, and he sings about it. Yeah, that one's coming up much higher on my list, by the way. But anyway, both of those songs are coming up. Yeah, and yeah, I guess now I just want to talk about Johnny Preston a little bit. He was, a rock and roll singer. He was born in Port Arthur, Texas in 1939. He didn't have a lot of hits. I'm just going to go through his hits. His first hit was the one I'm featuring today. That was in 1960. It was called Running Bear, and that went to number one. He followed that up with Cradle of Love, which went to number seven, and Feel So Fine, which went to 14. And then the following year, 1961, he had Leave My Kitten Alone, which went to 73, and Free Me, which went to 97. And I don't think that's the same Free Me that was later recorded by Roger Daltrey of The Who. But anyway, those were his hits. And now, as I promised, I'm going to feature Running Bear at karaoke. So anyway, here it goes. On the banks of the river stood Running Bear, young and brave. On the other side of the river stood his lovely Indian maid. Little White Dove was her name, such a lovely sight to see. But the tribes fought with each other, so their love could never be. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love as big as the sky. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love that couldn't die. He couldn't swim the raging river, 'cause the river was too wide. He couldn't reach Little White Dove waiting on the other side. In the moonlight, he could see her throwing kisses across the waves. Her little heart was beating faster, waiting there for her brave Running Bear. Loved Little White Dove with a love big as the sky. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love that couldn't die. Running Bear dove in the water, Little White Dove did the same, and they swam out to each other. Through the swirling stream they came, and their hands touched, and their lips met. The raging river pulled them down. Now they'll always be together in that happy hunting ground. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love as big as the sky. Running Bear loved Little White Dove with a love that couldn't die. Indian chant to die out here. I don't know if this song would be considered PC today. Anyway, so that was my wonderful performance of Running Bear by Johnny Preston. I hope you enjoyed it. And that completes my feature on Running Bear by Johnny Preston. Thank you for watching. You guys rock. And I'll see you guys next time.